Good evening. You've probably worked it out now. I'm Rebecca's granddad. A few weeks ago, she asked me if I would say a few words at her wedding, so here I am. I would like to say, first of all, that having watched her grow up from a very shy and quiet girl to the person she is today, a very confident, assured young lady, and it's a privilege for me to do this.
In the presence of God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, we come together to witness the marriage of Rebecca and Oliver, to pray for God's blessing on them, to share their joy, and to celebrate their love.
Right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. If there's anybody here who is feeling nervous, worried, or apprehensive, either me, because I am, or you've just married Oliver Jenkins. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Tom, Ollie's older brother. It's great to be stood here today because after all these years, Oliver has finally admitted that I am the better man.
It now gives me great pleasure to introduce the new Mr. and Mrs. Jenkins.
The symbolic vows that you are about to make are a way of saying to one another, you know all of those things that we've promised, hoped and dreamed of? Well, I meant it all, every word. Look at one another and remember this moment in time. Before this moment, you have been many things to one another. Acquaintance, friend, companion, lover, and even teacher, for both of you have learnt many things from one another in the past few years. Shortly, you shall say a few words that will take you across a threshold of life, and things between you will never quite be the same. For after today, you shall say to the world, this is my husband, this is my wife.
The next stage was her decision to keep fit and trim, and she started every evening running around Mitcherdine after work. During this period, she concentrated on her education and career, and there was no sign of a boyfriend, until one day she told Gemma, I'm going to go out onto a date with a boy called Ollie. She had been in contact with him from Chepstow. That was fine, but when Gemma found out where she had arranged to meet him, at a lake called Mallard's Pike in the middle of the forest, she wasn't amused. She decided with Chris to follow her down on the date and from a distance make sure that no harm came to her sister.
Remember the first day we met at Mallard's Pike? About an hour before, I was with Tom and Dan in Chepstow. And when they knew I was meeting a girl from the internet, they the first thing they asked was, what's that in your pocket? Whilst pulling out some bread, I muttered, slightly embarrassed, it's to feed the ducks, isn't it? Kind of thing. And the mocking went on for a few days, but it worked, so yeah. So I met up with Beck, spent an hour or so walking around, enjoyed every minute, getting to know you and chatting, feeding the ducks. And as Alf said, little did I know I had an audience in the shape of Chris and Jen. Beck only decided to tell me this about 9 months into our relationship, and yeah, I think it was because maybe I might have been a bit of a weirdo or something, but maybe, I don't know. That's it, yeah.
Who brings this woman to be married to this man?
I do.
Rebecca and Oliver, I now invite you to join hands in the presence of God and his people.
They were very excited. There was to be an increase in the family. A Welsh Terrier called Ramsey. And I think we all met him earlier on today when he was walking around the grounds here. And again, earlier this year, Ollie was out with his sports car, and Rebecca and Ramsey, they came to visit us and stopped for lunch. We were sat at the table, and Ramsey was looking at the spare chair in the dining room. And Rebecca asked if she could pull it out. Next minute, Ramsey jumps up and sits there. And we find out afterwards that every meal time at home, he sits up and joins them for the meal. And I just wondered if there might have been a place set for him here today, but it doesn't look like it.
For the next 12 months, we enjoyed several adventures and grew fondly of each other. 12 months down the line, we was looking into moving into our own place. This was a big decision for us, but it felt the right one. We got keys to a little rented house in Ross. We wanted to make it our home. Spent many evenings transforming the house. Beck did the cleaning and decorating, and I'd done what I was told. So we made a great team. And then 6 months after we decided to buy our own house, at this stage I knew Beck was the one I wanted to be with forever.
So it's customary for the best men to give some words of wisdom to the newlyweds. Me, not being married, I can't speak from experience, so I went out to look for happily newly married couples that could offer some advice. However, I'm still looking. So if anyone can give me any, I'll pass it on. So, ladies and gentlemen, can I please ask you to be all upstanding, raise a glass, and go absolutely bananas to the Mr. and Mrs. Jenkins.
To conclude, in March this year, Ollie proposed. Down at Mallard Spike again, of course. When Rebecca told us we're going to get married in September, we all laughed at her and said it takes a year to plan. And she was determined to do it, and here we are today. Everything well planned, done like clockwork. Well done, you've done yourself proud. Ollie, Sarah and Andrew have waited this moment for a long time. The whole family have. We welcome you into their and our families and wish you both many years of happiness into the future. You're a lovely couple, well suited. Ladies and gentlemen, please raise your glasses to Rebecca and Ollie, Mr. and Mrs. Jenkins.
Rebecca, I give you this ring
Rebecca, I give you this ring
as a sign of our marriage.
as a sign of our marriage.
With my body, I honour you.
With my body, I honour you.
All that I am, I give to you.
All that I am, I give to you.
And all that I have, I share with you.
And all that I have, I share with you.
Within the love of God.
within the love of God,
Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Oliver, I give you this ring
Oliver, I give you this ring
as a sign of our marriage.
as a sign of our marriage.
With my body, I honour you.
With my body, I honour you.
All that I am, I give to you.
All that I am, I give to you.
And all that I have, I share with you.
And all that I have, I share with you.
Within the love of God,
Within the love of God,
Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
In the presence of God and before this congregation, Rebecca and Oliver have given their consent. They've made their marriage vows to each other, and they have declared their marriage by the joining of hands and by the giving and receiving of rings. I therefore proclaim that they are husband and wife.
She's the most caring and beautiful woman I could ever wish for. Nothing gives me too much trouble, and I absolutely adore her. So I am looking forward to having a family with you and growing old with you by my side. So my final toast. So please stand, raise your glass to Rebecca and Lucy Jenkins.